Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from CNBC that was published on October 16th and is written by Tucker Higgins, which when we get to the end of the article, I gotta show you this guy's picture. This guy is a fucking soy boy if there ever was one. Alright, neck-bearded soy boy. Except he actually has a chin that he, I mean, it's not like he's gotta make a chin. I mean, he actually has one. He's not like a fat little soy boy. And he's such a little fucking leftist cuck, he tries to, as we'll see here in the article, go, oh, well, the idea of the right being censored, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory type shit. It's kind of funny. Anyway, because he's like, well, the right alleges it like it's a conspiracy theory. Anyway, Supreme Court agrees to hear a case that could determine whether Facebook, Twitter, and other social media companies can censor their users. Now, this is a big thing. And I hope that right now, Jack Zuckerberg, whatever the fuck her name is at YouTube, Pajai, Bryn, and everyone else at Google and YouTube that would be involved with this. I hope everyone in Silicon Valley right now is shitting their pants at the prospect of this. I really hope they are. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case that could determine whether users can challenge social media companies on free speech grounds. Good. The case, Manhattan Community Access Corp. versus Halleck, number 17-702, centers on whether a private operator of a public access television network is considered a state actor which can be sued for First Amendment violations. Now, here's the thing. On this note, just because they set up a corporation for a community, public access television station, which is mandated under federal law with cable broadcasters and that, they shouldn't get any special protection. I mean, that's the bottom line, and I'm hoping that's what the Supreme Court will say, because they're literally an outlet for you to engage in First Amendment. The idea of these things, where these public access stations, was set up so that people could have access to their community and be able to exercise their free speech. I mean, just look at Wayne's World. That was one of the basis. That was one of the premises behind the skit on Saturday Night Live and the two movies, was that Wayne's World was a community public access show that Wayne and Garth went down to the public access station and said, we want to do a show, and that's what led to Wayne's World. I'm sure these days, if they went down to a place like that, they'd be told, fuck off. But back then, that was the only outlet. And if you got a time slot, and you were happy with it. I mean, this is I hope this, gets heard and the left gets fucked with this. I really do. The case could have broader implications for social media and other media outlets. In particular, a broad ruling from the High Court could open up the country's largest technologies companies up to First Amendment lawsuits, which they where they are publishers, they shouldn't be able to get away with censorship anyways. They're supposed to be platforms, they are publishers, they're supposed to be platforms, and where they are being publishers, they shouldn't be able to get away with all these protections. I mean, right now they should be rife with lawsuits for what people put on their platforms, like the things that Twitter allows to be said about conservatives, about the president, about, anyone right of Karl Marx. They should be liable for that because they're censoring the people on the other side. And they're publishing in doing that. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case that could determine whether users can challenge social media companies on free speech grounds. The case, Manhattan Community Access Corp. versus Halleck, number 17-702 centers on whether a private operator of a public access television network is considered a state actor, which can be sued for First Amendment violations. Well, definitely a good thing. I mean, I'm a libertarian and I'm saying this is a good thing because part of these cable operators getting, like I said, being able to operate is by their providing public access stations. So I have no problems with this on the note of the cable operators. The case could have broader implications for social media and other media outlets. In particular, a broad ruling from the High Court could open up the country's largest technology companies up to First Amendment lawsuits, which would be good. I would love to see what would happen with the Silicon Valley leftists freaking the fuck out. Oh God, the spurgery would be so beautiful. That could shape the ability of companies like Facebook, Twitter, and Alphabet's Google to control the content on their platforms as lawmakers clamor for more regulation and activists on the left and right spar over issues related to censorship and harassment. Yeah, shape the abilities of them not to censor fucking people. Let's be honest about it. See, this is why I'm like, yeah, this is a soy boy. Because he's trying to, with the tonality there, make it sound like this shaping of their platforms could be a bad thing, allowing free speech. I mean, that's just the tonality of that paragraph or that one sentence paragraph that I'm getting here. I don't get it with the left these days. I remember when I went to school and they taught you proper fucking English, and it was not considered proper English to do this overabundance of one sentence paragraphs that these people in the legacy media and other media outlets use. It's bad form. The Supreme Court has accepted the case on Friday. It is the first case taken by a reconstituted High Court after Justice Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation earlier this month, which that should make things interesting. On its face, the case has nothing to do with social media at all. Rather, the facts of the case concern public access television and two producers who claim they were punished for expressing their political views. The producers, Didi Halleck and Jesus Melendez, say that Manhattan Neighborhood Network suspended them from expressing the views that were critical of the network. Oh, heaven forbid they call out the network a public access network meant for the community to use on the public access network. See, this is something here that for criticizing the platform, they're going to silence you. They're going to censor you. In part, my dealing with the support or whatever you want it, on say on the note of me and my permanent ban, well, my permanent suspension from Twitter, was the fact of I was literally expressing views about their doing it to me, like, because I was dealing with them, and I'm like, well, explain to me how this is offensive. I said, because the things that they said were far worse than what I said, but yet I don't see them suspended, and I'm pointing this out, and I was calling them out for it, and I got permanently banned because I triggered someone there. I mean, this is the same type of idea. Would be interesting if this has a broad ruling. I would love to see the reaction in Silicon Valley. I really would. In making the argument to the justices that the case was worthy of review, attorneys for MNN said the court could use the case to resolve a lingering dispute over the power of social media companies to regulate the content on their platforms. Wow. They're going all in, and they think they have a fucking case to help out social media. They don't see that this is going to backfire on them. This is fucking hilarious. This really is hilarious. They don't see that this is going to backfire on them. Only in New York, with Manhattan Neighborhood Network, think that this case is going to bode well for them. While the First Amendment is meant to protect citizens against government attempts to limit speech, there are certain situations in which private companies can be subject to First Amendment liability. Attorneys for MMN have made the case that social media companies are clearly not government actors, but in raising the question, they have provided the Supreme Court an opportunity to weigh in. Yeah. Stupid fucks. They just screwed themselves in the left. It's hilarious. We stand at a moment when the very issue at the heart of this case, the interplay between private entities, non-traditional media, and the First Amendment has been playing out in the courts, in other branches of government, and the media itself. Attorneys for MNN wrote in their final plea to the justices to take the case. Now, I don't understand why they would want to do this. When I originally was looking at this article, I thought it was the two individuals that they were trying to silence that was going after them. I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But it's not. Excuse the squeaky chair there. It's not them. It's the actual network thinking that they're helping out Silicon fucking Valley. Going, well, we have a right to do this. No, you don't, because as part of the cable operator, doesn't matter, you're a private company, you agreed to give them access to the network so that they could gain access to the public. I hope you just fucked everyone with this, you stupid fucks. I really do. A ruling against MNN on the broad question it has asked the court to consider could open social media companies to First Amendment suits, which would force them to limit the actions they take to control the content on their platforms. Damn straight. Good. I have no problems with that, because when I'm being shadow banned on Twitter, but then I somehow, while being shadow banned, managed to trigger some leftist, get them to spurg out. I respond to them in kind, but I wasn't nearly as vulgar, crass, or threatening, or anything like that. And I'm the one who gets permanently fucking suspended? Yeah, I really want to see shit like this backfire on them. I hope MNN opened the door for massive, massive lawsuits. I really do. Oh, this idiot with this one sentence fucking paragraphs, it drives me completely apeshit. The court could also rule more narrowly against MNN in a way that does not impact the companies, which is what the left and you people at CNBC and all you spurging idiots that want to try to silence the alternative media and those who do not fall in line with your bullshit, okay, you're kind of hoping that they do have that narrow ruling. The case is likely to get extra attention as it moves forward, given Republican lawmakers' increasing attacks against social media companies for perceived partisanship. For perceived partisanship? Are you... oh, wow, you little soy boy bitch. No, there's actual partisanship. Kind of like your bullshit here. Those attacks have raised the specter that the court, which has served as a bulwark for conservative expression, could step in. What the fuck? So now, following the Constitution, according to this half-wit, is conservative expression stopping the Constitution from being infringed upon, not being overstepped by like Ginsburg and the like. Okay. Somehow that's fucking conservative. Okay. Some observers have expressed caution, saying that the justices are unlikely to rule in a way that could substantially impact social media companies. Ha! I don't know about that. Because the thing is, you might see, after the shit the left has been pulling, which is waking up the normies, like with Kavanaugh, like with the censorship online, which the normies are waking up to, you never know. Because a place like Twitter or Facebook, government agencies and entities use them to interact with the community. So that could be a factor in this. And they're ruling that there's a First Amendment situation here. Some observers have expressed caution, saying that the justices... yeah, I already read that, sorry. Michael Pachter, a former tax attorney who covers Twitter as an analyst at Wedbush Securities, said he thought it was extremely unlikely that the court will issue a ruling that hamstrings social media companies, particularly given the court's deference to business interests. Yes, but the problem is, you're looking at it from just a strictly business standpoint. You cannot do that. You have a situation where these platforms, they've become the town square, and they are where people go to express their views and to, and opinions and information to others. So, to say that it's unlikely, I don't know. I could see even the conservatives putting a wide ruling that would make the whole social media thing a non-issue and say, yeah, you got to allow for free speech. Especially with the fact that all these companies in social media have received government money, government kickbacks, tax breaks, everything else. And the fact that Alphabet / Google / YouTube, YouTube was purchased later, but In-Q-Tel, a U.S. intelligence, CIA-run venture capital firm, with its sole intent of funding technologies that benefit the U.S. intelligence community, gave them their seed money, or at least part of their seed money. That makes them a government entity. Plain as day. If you take government money, you're kind of an entity. So I would hope that this ruling, they would take into account those types of things. If the court does place serious limits on how companies can restrict the speech on their platforms, he said, it would make the network more hostile, alienating their users and advertisers. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's complete bullshit. Because you know what? YouTube, prior to the ad apocalypse, did not have a fucking problem with any of that shit. Okay? Facebook, before that stuff started happening with YouTube, because it all started happening about the same time with social media and YouTube and all that, didn't have a problem. Twitter did not have a problem. They actually, until the left started spurging out, people were able to make the distinction that advertisers were not endorsing particular videos or tweets or, tweet threads or Facebook posts or things like that. Twitter is an uncivil place as it is, Patcher said, but it will become less civil. Yes, and do you want to know why it's an uncivil place? Because of the fucking censorious friggin' left. Okay, if you look at most of that, the nasty, vile shit on Twitter, it's coming from the left, talking about killing white people, killing the president, racism towards whites, La Raza and shit like that. That's what makes it a vile fucking place. ISIS on there. Oh shit, that doesn't make it a vile place? Oh well, they'll ban conservatives, but fucking ISIS? Hell, they can have their fucking accounts. This is the bullshit that we have going on here. This idiot's trying to portray it with the soy boy who's writing this article too. That, if we had free speech, meaning if we allowed the conservatives, if we allowed people right of Karl Marx to actually speak, Twitter would be, freely, Twitter would be a vile place, more so than it already is. Blow it out your ass. Courts in California and New Jersey have weighed in on the issue, finding that social media companies don't constitute state actors subject to First Amendment liability. A federal judge in New York ruled in May that the First Amendment protected users interacting with parts of Twitter, including the president's feed. But that ruling did not apply to Twitter as a whole, which is complete bullshit. Which goes to show how fucked up the left is. Oh, well, we can't have these people blocked by the president because that would be a violation of their free speech. Now, mind you, they can still fucking tweet. They can still talk about the president. They just can't interact with him. They can't harass him. They can't try to, get likes and views and shit like that by leaving snarky fucking comments on his thread. Which, to me, that's not free speech. Okay, being completely censored from the platform. Removed. Permanently suspended. Which would be expelled, which would be kicked off. But they don't want to call it that. People like Gavin McInnes, people like myself, people like all these other people. Hell, even fucking soy boy of trap porn. Sargon of Sargon. They've all been permanently banned. I've been permanently banned. Well, permanently suspended. Which Sargon's beating the thing using that freaking stupid UKIP account that he's spurging out on. You have that going on. That's actual censorship. Okay, some triggered snowflake reporter that can't leave snarky comments on the president's tweets. That's not censorship because they can leave those snarky comments as a standalone fucking tweet. They can take a screen capture of the president's tweet and then leave their snarky tweet with it. But people that are permanently suspended, they can't even fucking tweet. The Supreme Court addressed a related issue in June 2017. In Packingham v. North Carolina, number 15-1194, the court struck down a state law that prohibited sex offenders from accessing social media sites. In his opinion for the court, Justice Anthony Kennedy, who retired over the summer, referred to social media sites as a modern public square, but the court's decision left important questions as to what exactly that meant up in the air. Now, when you have, I don't agree with the sex offender part. All right, because a sex offender, social media is where they troll. They're looking for their fresh fish. They throw their lines out and they start trolling. Okay, they put their trolling motor in because I don't want it to be looked like trolling, like on the internet. But they cast their lines out and they look to reel in their next victim. I don't see how that necessarily falls under free speech. Now, if it was, say, another criminal and they tried to censor them, like a gangbanger or something like that, I would feel it's a different story. Because literally, if they can stop a hacker from gaining access to the internet, from gaining access to social media, like they did with, say, Kevin Mitnick back in the day, then I don't have a problem with a kid diddler not getting access to a social media platform where he's going to troll for his next victim. I really don't. But I mean, the modern public square, I agree with that fact of what he said. I don't agree in the ruling in this particular case. If it was, like I said, a different situation, yes, because when you commit a crime, especially a crime like kid diddling, you forfeited your right, some of your rights for the protection of society, especially with the recidivism of kid diddling with these fucking perverts. And I love how they go with this kid diddling thing and then they go, conservatives allege censorship. Tell me that wasn't planned. While the justices tend to describe themselves as being apolitical, the Court of Chief Justice John Roberts has shown a distinct preference for speech cases that concern conservative ideology, according to an empirical analysis conducted by researchers with the Washington University in St. Louis and the University of Michigan. No! It's the fact that the conservatives are the ones that are being fucking censored. Holy shit! I love how you will completely muddy up that fact. The analysis found that the justices on the court appointed by a Republican president sided with conservative speech nearly 70% of the time. Oh, you mean with the fact of speech that does not hurt little fuckwits' feelings like yourself there, soy boy? I think that's what you mean. Actually, no. I know that's what you mean. You mean that they didn't rule that something was hate speech because the First Amendment, speech is immutable. More than any other modern court, the Roberts Court has trained its sights on speech promoting conservative values, the authors found. Where's the proof of this? You mean protecting conservative speech from being censored by the left, because there isn't conservatives censoring the left on their speech, which is why there's this discrepancy that you're trying to say is a result of the court being conservative. Because there isn't the left being censored and it's the right being censored, of course there's going to be more cases focusing on conservatives. It's really that simple. Polls show that both Democrats and Republicans believe that social media companies censor their users. However, the issue swings heavily conservative. 85% of Republicans believe that social media companies censor speech the companies find objectionable, compared to 62% of Democrats, according to a June survey conducted by the Pew Research Center. Yeah, which goes to show that the Democrat left plantation narrative of they're the good guys isn't working anymore. When 62% of fucking Democrats, a clear majority, say, yeah, social media is censoring people. The jig is up. You're found out. The normies know. The survey also found that 4 in 10 Americans believe that the companies favor liberal speech versus just 1 in 10 who believe the company favor conservative speech. Yes, the normies know. You're fucked. Wow. You guys are so fucked. It's not even funny. You're still trying to push this shit. You're known for being censorious bastards of speech that you don't like, which just happens right now to be on the right. And that it's conservatives that tend to be getting the brunt of the censorship. In August, President Donald Trump blasted Google for allegedly suppressing conservative speech. In a post on Twitter, Trump wrote that they are controlling what we can and cannot see. This is a very serious situation. This is a very serious situation, will be addressed. And he's right about that. I mean, hell, all you need to do is just look at the president's tweet thread. He's got all the support, but any tweet he leaves, any thread that tweet's on, or any thread that's built off of that tweet, it's almost all overwhelmingly negative. I mean, they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're cultivating these threads. I mean, come on now. Rep. Devin Nunes, Republican California, the conservative chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, in July accused Twitter of censorship and threatened legal action against the company. Yeah, because there is. Perhaps most dramatically, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, and the music platform Spotify removed content from right-wing conspiracy theorist and provocateur Alex Jones in August, accusing the talk show host of violating their terms of service. Now, I love how they got to throw all these fucking buzzwords in. Conspiracy theorist and provocateur. It's fucking Alex Jones. Come on now. Indeed, MNN cited Jones's removal in its legal brief, saying that it was an example of the heightened attention to the issue of First Amendment rights online. Now, this is fucked up. They are literally laying out a case that could fuck them. I don't know if this is intentional or they're really that stupid. When they're citing Alex Jones as being as a source of backing their shit up with the censorship. Wow. The major social media companies, which either did not respond or declined to comment to CNBC, have said they do not censor speech based on political ideology. Yeah. Bullshit. That is the biggest crock of fucking shit out there. Take it from someone who's been censored, all right, through shadow banning, and is being shadow banned on platforms, okay? They are full of fucking shit. They truly, unequivocally, are full of shit. In August, as the uproar from conservatives reached a fever pitch, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey called into the radio show hosted by conservative commentator Sean Hannity. "We do not shadow ban according to political ideology or viewpoint or content, period," Dorsey said at the time, which is complete bullshit, because they have to. Because when you are literally censoring people based on their tweets, you have to know the content of their tweet. And more often than not, tweets that are found offensive tend to be conservative ones. Tend to be ones like, for example, if you say there is only 2 genders, that's a violation under Twitter's bullshit, and you just committed hate speech. But that's a matter of fucking science, and something that someone who doesn't believe that there's 76 genders and they're a fucking wonderkid would say. Which is like 8% of the population. I mean, the far leftists are like 8% of the population. Yet, you've got Twitter catering to them. For its part, Google released a statement saying that its search feature is not used to set political agenda and we don't bias our results towards any political ideology. Ha 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 ha! Oh, really? Then how come you could go to every other search engine, type in, during the presidential campaign, Hillary Clinton's health, or Hillary's health, or anything along that lines, and it would autofill. But you go to Google, and it would give you all the fluffy bullshit stuff like, you know, Hillary for president, Hillary Clinton, donate, you know, shit like that. This was proven, too. During an April hearing before the Senate's Commerce and Judiciary Committees, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was grilled by Senator Ted Cruz, Republican Texas, about whether Facebook considered itself a neutral public platform. Yeah, and like the fucking android he is, he just froze up. I mean, it was like he was running like old school Mac OS. I mean, and had like a memory fucking issue where it just all filled up. He like froze and just, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't see the little fucking circle of death spinning around in his eyes. I mean, this is... Oh, wow. There are great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship, Cruz said. In response, Zuckerberg said that Facebook is a platform for all ideas. Yet they censored Diamond and Silk, 2 black women who are very outspoken, who are very articulate, who are Trump supporters, who are off the Democrat plantation. You censored them, didn't you, Zuckernut? Oh, that's right, you did. I mean, this is such funny shit. You would think that the left would be trying to keep this story quiet. You would think MNN wouldn't have sued on these grounds and cited the shit that they did. When they are literally, I mean, like I said, I thought when I first started reading this, you know, before I started the video and all that, I honestly thought that it was the 2 producers that were suing. And they were the ones, well, they obviously are suing, but I thought that they were the ones that were taking it to the Supreme Court. Here it is, it's the other way around, and they're hoping that they're actually going to help social media be able to fucking remove people and shit. Because, hey, look, we were able to do it. I hope this gets ruled with the fact of, yeah, you can't censor people if this is the town square now. And it'd be all because of this Manhattan neighborhood network, whatever the fuck it is, the public access station. But I found this interesting, that this could actually have repercussions outside of the scope of the case and could actually impact social media. And I would love to see what's going to come out of this. And I'm going to be following this. And if I see new updates to this and that, I'm probably going to be doing videos on it. But anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.